Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you part 2 of my toddler's bedroom makeover. We're going to be doing a lot of painting, some of the feature wall, so I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video and it gives you motivation. If you do, remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, friends, so this is the start of part 2 of our video. I'm going to be going in. My husband went and frog taped the wall for me. I apologize in advance about my voice. I am a little bit sick. It is what it is with the summer colds, right? And I'm going to be painting this wall. I have to take down his name. This is just a stick-on that we got. I can remember literally sitting in the rocker that used to be here, if you were here from my early videos, when I was nursing him and just like getting him used to his room. And I remember that first night we brought him home, my husband put that up there. So a little emotional to be taking that down, something so simple, but it's time. But yeah, so I'm going to be setting up the room really quick, getting it ready to paint, and then I'm going to kind of go to town with the painting in hopes that I'll be done by like 9:30, 10-ish. So probably even before that. It's 7 something. So I'll probably be done by 8:45, 9. So let me know how everybody's doing. Happy August to all of you. I hope that it is off to a great start. Here in my household, we have all gone through it with our summer colds. My cough is still pretty bad. My son's cough is getting better but still present, and then my husband had to make a trip to urgent care, and now my parents are sick. It's just traveling throughout the household. It is what it is, but we're making do. Obviously you guys can see the work continued for my son's bedroom, but I'm doing this voiceover. The bedroom is now finally finished, completed, so a little over a week and a half to get everything done, and primarily my dad helped me out a lot with this, so we had to work around his schedule because he still works. So I mean, he gets out of work, he's tired, he'd still come help us out. So big props to my dad for that, and my husband for kind of helping me out with this. So on this day that I did the painting, as you guys can see, we ended up going with a light gray color, and it took me just about a day to get 2 coats in there, and 2 coats was plenty for this. I know it's going to look white or cream colored once I start doing the painting. It is gray. I promise it is. It's just in terms of the lighting. But this went pretty quickly. This was probably the easiest part of what I had to do for this wall. You guys will see a little bit later on, there's a lot of intricate cuts that go on that my dad did with the wood. And true story, I want to say it was later on this day after everything was painted, we went out and bought the wood because I was trying to stick to a certain timeline. So I hope that you guys enjoy some painting motivation. I'm going to kind of be quiet for the next few minutes. This way you guys can get that type of motivation.
Still making sense to me. I can't sleep, not in this bed if you aren't in and out. No, I can't breathe, it's killing me. No, you won't be around. Everything, you meant everything, I won't lose you now. Cause I just can't imagine what it'd be like trying to laugh when you were the one who gave me the chance to try to get by, knowing inside I still miss you. To say I'm alright, but every night I still need you. I want you back to me. I want you back to me. I want you back to me. Okay, I know I messed up. 너 같이 있을 때 잘할 걸. Can we not tonight? 내 맘을 알아줘. Cause we fight and you say you hate me, that you don't believe when I'm sorry. 난 같이 너와 나, is this the end? Cause I can't sleep, not in this bed. 너 없이 허전해, 난 못 참아. It's killing me, 너무 보기 싶어서. Everything, you meant everything to me.
Alright, so this is layer 1 done. I didn't want to go too much over it the first time around. I'll hit this with a second coat in another hour or 2. I gotta let it dry, do its thing. I know it probably looks white on camera, but it's actually gonna dry like a very light gray, which is fine. Like I said, I don't want too much gray in his room, but it's definitely not gonna be like the color you see in the shades or anything like that. But this will definitely dry
off-white, which is what I wanted, so the design kind of pops through. So I'll hit this in another couple of hours with a second coat, do some touch-ups. If it needs a third coat later tonight, I'll do that because my son will not be sleeping in here. He'll be in another room just because it's a strong smell. And then hopefully once that's done, we'll be able to start the actual design on the wall.
So later on that night, after the wall was finished, we had aired out everything. We waited till my son was asleep and we went down. These are the slats and then some of the border that we're gonna put on that wall. You'll see in a little bit. We just had the idea to paint everything later on that night, even though we were exhausted, but it just helps us out. You know, we were again on a time crunch. So we went through, painted all of them, the front and the sides. Realistically, I should have painted all the sides. We didn't do that. That probably would have helped us out, but it's okay. A labor of love, as I like to say, for my son. So just keep in mind when you're doing a feature wall, if you have something simplistic, it may not take you as much time. When it's a bigger design like what we're going to do, it does take a little bit more time because you want to make sure all the slats are painted, they're painted evenly. And even when we did the cuts and finally got them up there, which you'll see a little bit later on in the video, there was still touch-ups we had to do. I don't think I filmed those, but I probably had about a day's worth of touch-ups for these slats and for the wall in general. So just keep that in mind when you are planning a project. So this is pretty much the next day. What you guys are seeing me use here is the silicone caulking to go ahead and put up those slats for the border, and we're going to use the nail gun as well. So what I decided to do is put the border around the wall to support the design that I wanted to do. You obviously don't need to do this. What I've seen on Pinterest, because that was a huge help for me for picking this design, is the border, and I personally like how it looked with the border, so I'm glad I went with it. And I didn't want to take away, most people when they do a feature wall will paint the molding, the wall, obviously the feature portion of it all the same color. I did not do that. I like the fact that I still have the white borders there, and to me it kind of made the wall pop even more. You guys let me know in the end what your thoughts are. So I want to say this is day 3, and we're going to be starting on the 3 main slats that go there, and then you'll see us work on the design. Again, I was doing this as more of an early birthday gift for my son. He's been wanting and asking for different things in his room now for a while, and he also has been dying for a big boy bed. He fit pretty comfortably in his toddler bed. I would say he would definitely have to be out of it by next year because he's rather tall for his age. He's going to be 3 later on this month, but it's just the way that he moves. There wasn't enough space in there. We'd constantly hear him hitting like the headboard or the little side rail, you know, that toddler beds have. So it was definitely time for the change. So I figured, why not give the room a good, you know, a huge update, in which it did. You guys will see that in the 3rd video. But little things like this, because in the future, obviously the decor and things will change over time, but he may just want a plain room in the future when he's older. You never know. And obviously years down the line, which I hate to think about, but when he moves out, if he gets married, he travels and this room is going to be just a bedroom. I love how it looks. I can't see myself in the future wanting to change it again. I mean, I guess you never know. But to me, if you're planning a room, obviously styles and tastes can change, but if you're doing something like this, you really need to be sure about it because the amount of work that went into this was a lot. So once my dad had his measurements, it went up pretty quickly after that. Obviously we have to eyeball, make sure everything's even, make sure everything's matching up. But as you guys can see, it's coming together really nicely. I absolutely just adore how this looks, and with the color. Obviously it would look beautiful in a darker color too, but this was just the pattern that I chose. I was between this and diamonds for my son's room. PSA though, for those of you who have toddlers like myself, if you're doing something like this, make sure you reinforce it because they may be tempted to try and climb. Something that, shame on me, I guess that's a first time mom thing. I did not anticipate him trying to climb the wall. He has tried to climb it twice now, and we've had to kind of deter him from it. The only good thing with my son, he's not somebody who gets up out of bed in the middle of the night to just try and play or just go do random things. Once he's in bed, he's in bed. That could change in the future, although I don't see it. He's pretty routine oriented when it comes to bedtime. But yeah, just make sure if you're doing something like this, you reinforce it as best you can, because if you have a climber, something like this may not necessarily work in your child's room. So this is what the finished wall looks like, and like I said, I was absolutely in love with it. Even my husband did not want to put anything on the wall. He thought the design was beautiful, so do I. Very proud of my dad. I'm not surprised at all. My dad is very talented, just left and right, and very proud to be his daughter, so he did a great job with that. And here you can see him again with the light fixture. As much as I love this light fixture, it just wasn't going to go with his room for what we had in mind, and the light there wasn't that bright, so we wanted to change it out to a fan. I was very lucky to find the fan that I did. It sits flush to the wall, so this way it's not hanging down. I don't have to worry about him jumping, hitting his head, anything like that. And again, if you have kids or anything like that and you have a fan in their room, let me know if you guys chose it to go flush to the ceiling as well, or did you have it with the down rod? Let me know. But for me, I wanted it sitting flush, so again, one less thing I have to worry about safety wise. And we were lucky enough to get it in the same color as literally all of his furniture, espresso color. So it's just like a super dark brown, and it goes really well. You'll see here shortly. You might also see some movement in the background once the camera kind of flips. That's because we had my son's mattress delivered literally the same day, so everything could be done the next day. So I have one last clip and it's just me doing some talking, but the video seems like it's going to end briefly. I forgot to film an outro, so I'm putting it here now. I appreciate all of you guys for watching and hope that you enjoyed the process. And again, the next clip that's coming up of just me talking is me kind of explaining my mindset on things, and it'll lead to the outro. So I appreciate all of you and stay tuned for the reveal. I will have that up later this week as well.
All right, so I'm super excited, you guys. Obviously, the room is officially done in terms of the major work that we had to do. What I did off camera was fill in a lot of the spots. I still have a few more things to do, like small touch-ups, which I'm gonna try and do obviously before my son goes to bed. And if we don't get it done today, there are literally 5 or 6 spots I need to touch up. I'll do it tomorrow. But tomorrow, which will be in my 3rd video, so not for this one, but tomorrow will be all the decor and things like that. But I'm super excited how everything turned out. This was the majority of work, so a huge shout out to my dad for doing the brunt of this. I only helped a very small amount, as well as my husband, but I very much appreciate him. And shout out to my mom for keeping Logan busy too, because my son just wanted to be in the area looking at the room and stuff. So as you guys can see, the feature wall is done. This was my big project that I wanted. The color, which I was meant to tell you guys, and I don't know if I will have said it in the voiceover, but just in case I forget, is goose feathers. So it's a light gray. It's the last time I want to do any more gray in the house because I'm just tired of gray. We have a lot of gray when we bought the house, which we did not paint. It came with it, but it's okay. So this looks amazing. I'm gonna quickly take this off so you guys can see the fan. Everything pretty much looks the way I wanted it to. So I'm really excited to do this for him. And then when part 3 is live, you guys will see how it all came together with the decor, the bed, and hopefully my son's reaction. But let's see. I'm gonna just quickly take this off the stand so you guys can see. Mind you, I still have to deep clean the room, but we now have the fan up there, which will be great. It's pretty quiet. We've tried it. We went from the dimmer that we originally had that my dad installed for me back to a regular light switch. So this will just strictly turn the light on and off. If we want the fan on, that's where the remote control comes in, and that will be my husband and I will be in charge of this until obviously my son is older and, you know, trusted and able to do all that. But I love that the fan pretty much matches the furniture color, so everything looks like it goes or that it's been here. And again, the fan we really mostly wanted just for those like warmer autumn days, warmer spring days where it's warm but it's not like hot enough to put on the central air that's right next to it. So we'll be in good shape.